Mrs. Lim Hui Hua, former Minister of Finance and Transportation, Republic of Singapore, Chair of the Board of Trustees, International Valuation Standards Council. Bapak yang saya hormati, Bapak Raden Muhammad Marty Mulyana Natalegawa, former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Republic of Indonesia, Chair of Asia Committee IVSC, IVSC Asia Committee members, Mr. Budi Prasojo, Chair of the National Leadership Council of Masyarakat Profesi Penilai Indonesia, representatives from the Ministry of Creative Economy, the Ministry of Agrarian Affairs and Spatial Planning, distinguished participants, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, Shalom, Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, Salam Sejahtera. A warm welcome to all distinguished guests attending the 2025 Indonesia International Valuation Conference today. We are honored to host this prestigious conference, bringing together valuation practitioners from various countries. Your presence today reflects your commitment to enhancing professional capacity in your daily practice. Let me express my highest appreciation to Masyarakat Profesi Penilai Indonesia and Indonesia International Valuation Conference for organizing the Indonesia Conference today. With support from line ministries, this year we carry a big theme that is very relevant, which is navigating valuation in the Industrial Revolution 5.0 era, integrating technology, embracing creative economy, and upholding social responsibility. This theme is not only timely, but also strategic in supporting the great ideals of Indonesia's long-term economic development. Ladies and gentlemen, the interconnectedness of nations has existed for centuries, driven by unmet economic needs due to limited domestic resources and production capacities. The emergence of multilateral alliances such as the G20, G7, APEC, OPEC, and the European Union intensifies an era of international collaboration. However, this trend of multinational cooperation has recently begun to erode. Rising geopolitical tensions and escalating trade wars pose a great threat to global economic stability. The world is moving away toward a more protectionist and unpredictable direction, which poses significant risks to global cooperation and growth. The US government's announcement of reciprocal tariffs on April 2nd of this year has increased global market uncertainty. The policy imposes tariffs on major economies ranging from 20% to 34%, while ASEAN countries face tariffs of up to 49%, with Indonesia hit with a 32% tariff. These trade wars introduce new uncertainties and existing global instabilities. The impact on Indonesia is relatively limited. The US exports contributing 1.9% of Indonesia's GDP in 2024. The US tariffs primarily affect sectors such as the electrical machinery, knitted clothing, footwear, and non-knitted clothing. The OECD estimates global growth in 2025 at 3.1%, while Bloomberg estimates it at 2.8%. Both organizations' projections suggest growth will remain below pre-pandemic levels. Developing economies are forecast to grow by around 4%, the slowest long-term outlook since 2000. Distinguished participants, Indonesia's economic growth has remained consistently above 5% since 2022, reflecting its strong economic resilience. The country remains committed to continued structural reforms and sustainable development goals, positioning itself for robust growth. In addition, Indonesia has abundant assets, from central government assets with total values of 13,000 trillion rupiah, including strategic minerals, marine resources, and intellectual property. The valuer's profession plays a crucial role. You are all at the forefront of providing value certainty, not just financial value, but also intangible asset value, sustainability value, and perhaps most importantly, social responsibility value. Amid global uncertainty, Indonesia showed healthy economic performance with a growth rate of 5.03% in 2024. In Q4 of 2024, GDP grew by 5.02% year-on-year, mainly driven by an increase of household consumption at 4.94% and growth in the manufacturing sector at 4.4%. The government has successfully controlled inflation, ensuring stable purchasing power. In 2024, unemployment has steadily decreased, reaching 4.91%, and poverty levels has declined to 9.0. I'm sorry, this should be, I think this is the wrong number, so I will not say that, reflecting the effectiveness of social assistance programs and economic policies. Furthermore, despite the global slowdown and failing commodity prices, Indonesia has managed to maintain a trade surplus. Although the surplus is likely to narrow due to falling prices and weakening demand for key exports, the country's solid export performance relative to imports of capital goods and raw materials is expected to create more jobs and increase national income. Indonesia's economic resilience is reflected in the 2025 state budget. As of March 31st, 2025, the performance of the budget has remained healthy. State revenues were recorded at 516.1 trillion rupiah, or 17.2% of the target in 2025, otherwise up by 10.5% from the previous month. The government has quickly adapted to global challenges, including the recent spike in trade tensions and market volatility, through a prudent and forward-looking financial strategy. Under uncertainties, we continue to support development priorities and maintain debt sustainability. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, in the long run, economic and social transformation focuses on the acceleration of economic growth, strengthening well-being, and speeding up inter-regional convergence. Digitalization is one key strategy to achieve economic and social transformation, including automation and digital transactions. Currently, Indonesia is ranked 43rd in the Global Digital Competitive Index and aims to rise to 30th place by 2045. To achieve this goal, Indonesia will focus on three key strategies: strengthening digital infrastructure, enhancing technology adaptation, and fostering digital transformation. These efforts will include improving digital connectivity, cybersecurity, and the development of advanced technologies. Additionally, Indonesia will prioritize digital literacy, e-commerce, and e-government initiatives. Indonesia has made significant progress in digital transformation across various sectors. The most advanced sectors are financial services and trade and retail, where digital adoption is leading the way with innovations like digital payments, e-commerce, and AI integration. Other sectors, including healthcare, manufacturing, logistics, education, agriculture, and tourism, are also progressing with the adoption of digital technologies, paving the way for a more digitally driven economy in Indonesia. From one perspective, implementing technology at this level is necessary to enhance work speed and accuracy. However, from another perspective, it erodes human roles and jobs. Professions are occupational choices that provide quality service to users. As machines gain learning capabilities, they pose a threat by potentially competing with professionals, including you as valuers. Big data and artificial intelligence will become new tools for assessors, Going forward, we no longer want valuations that take weeks, but real-time dashboards that can compare valuations across cities, sectors, and time. The valuer's profession cannot only be a data user. You must be an architect of trust. For that, we need a significant increase in capacity and understanding of data science, geospatial skills, and AI-assisted judgment capabilities. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, growth acceleration strategy and technological progress supported by knowledge advancement should not neglect humanistic aspects. Environmental issues, social responsibility, and implementing good corporate governance remain relevant topics that serve as guardrails to ensure technological developments don't forget their primary purpose, which is sustaining humanity. Responsible action should guide every step forward in technological progress and innovation. This principle underlines international agreements about human accountability for current actions affecting future generations. While the world moves towards sustainable investing, Indonesia faces challenges in human resource availability. Indonesia has the lowest number of valuers with only 820 experts with 3,000 gap. I believe not all valuers understand ESG ecosystems and only few has certification in ESG investments. Skilled and productive human resources are essential for creating a strong and high value-added product. As professional valuers, you recognize and are prepared to integrate ESG principles into daily practice. ESG perspectives must become fundamental in valuations, especially as market behavior increasingly incorporates them into economic decisions. Since market preferences form the basis of asset valuation, they should naturally reflect value opinions. Applying ESG in professional practice isn't just about standardized methods, it's your active participation in safeguarding humanity's future. Social impact must be a key consideration in policymaking, with social value serving as fair and adequate compensation for affected parties. This social value becomes particularly necessary to mitigate the negative consequences of public policies. One effective solution involves examining precedents from other nations' experiences, carefully adapted to local conditions and wisdom to ensure community acceptance. Sustainability is our final and most crucial keyword, as all previously discussed matters ultimately converge on sustaining human existence. Technology, innovation, intellectual property preservation, and global financial conditions all point towards this goal, just as ESG principles contribute to this narrative. However, sustainability isn't merely a localized effort. It must be pursued collectively by all of us. The spirit that drives the IVSC in developing international valuation standards. Unified professional guidelines foster business efficiency, transparency, and effectiveness, ultimately strengthening the global economy and creating broader societal benefits. Today's event embodies this implementation. Indonesia's selection as host profoundly aligns with IVSC's collaborative values. As an archipelagic nation with remarkable ethnic and cultural diversity, yet maintains unity, Indonesia exemplifies how international standards can embrace local contexts while serving cross-border practices. This conference marks a pivotal milestone in bridging standard setters with stakeholders. While I cannot make formal determinations, I propose considering similar future events, particularly during extraordinary global economic conditions or when IVSC introduces new standards requiring in-depth understanding. Currently, for your information, the Ministry of Finance is advocating for legislation on valuation acts and developing a valuation information system that will bring greater transparency to property transactions in Indonesia. These efforts are expected to enhance the sophistication of valuation activities in the country, which in turn could attract more investment and support economic growth in Indonesia. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished participants, Indonesia has more than 3,000 professional valuers registered under MAPPI and PPPK, with expertise spanning a wide range of fields from property, business to intangible assets. This profession is not just a routine job. This is a mandate that is carried out with full responsibility. Every report you sign is not just a collection of numbers, but also a moral contract and code of ethics to maintain public trust. Ladies and gentlemen, distinguished guests, may this gathering illuminate emerging threats and opportunities, share preventive measures for professional challenges, and contribute to addressing current global economic realities. We sincerely thank IVSC and MAPPI for collaborating with Indonesia's Ministry of Finance to initiate this event. Our appreciation also goes to speakers and panelists for sharing their expertise, and to all participants whose investment of time and resources reflects your commitment to integrating global changes into credible, reliable, professional practices. I thank you.